Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we're talking about the economic rework once again, in particular looking at the original credit printer, and that is the Missouri, and seeing how she has fared after the rework to the game's economic system. Now, the Missouri has been the topic of much discussion on not only my comment section, but the forums, Reddit, so forth and so on, talking about how she's fared throughout this rework. Now, there's been a big change to her economy, in that not the original economic boost, but her economic boost. Okay, let's talk about that first. Her economic boost. Missouri was the first Tier 9 premium ship in the game. You could achieve her by acquiring 750,000 free XP way back when she was introduced, which today is a very small sum amount of free XP. And since she was the game's first Tier 9 premium ship, the devs weren't quite sure what her economy should be like, and turns out they kinda overtuned it to the point to where you could basically enter battle in the Missouri, press W once, and make credits. It was pretty nuts. And because of this, she was removed from sale a little while after and replaced with the Musashi, the Tier 9 Japanese premium battleship, who had a much more standard Tier 9 economy. Now, because of that, Missouri quickly became one of the most sought-after premium ships in the game. You couldn't acquire her through the free XP method anymore, but they would often bring her back during special events like the Santa Container event, where you could potentially get her out of all the other premium ships in a Santa Container at the end of the year. And because of that, players threw hundreds, if not thousands of dollars at the Santa Container event trying to get the Missouri. I've talked to one guy that spent $2,000 on the event getting the Missouri. So yeah, quite a few people have dumped quite a large amount of money in the game trying to get this ship, because quite simply, if you have an original Missouri in your port, you don't have a credit issue. At least in the old system. And we'll take a look at the new Missouri here. Well, the original Missouri and the new system here in a moment. But that is why so many players spent so much money trying to get her. Plus, she's the Missouri 2, very sought-after historical ship. And because of that reason right there, her being a sought-after historical ship, Wargaming made the decision to bring her back, but with a correct and adjusted economy for a Tier 9 premium. As we all know, about, what was that, a year? A little over half a year ago, maybe. Time's a blur now. They introduced the Missouri back into the game, but with, again, a proper Tier 9 economy, as now there's plenty of Tier 9 premiums with an appropriate economy for their tier. And if you had an original Missouri, you were given a special combat mission that would give you a boost to your Missouri's economy that was supposed to be equivalent to the original Missouri's economy. And it's pretty funny too, they had to do several adjustments to this boost, because rather than being an economic boost that's baked into the ship, it was a combat mission, and the game crunches that differently than a boost that's built onto the ship. So yeah, it's kind of funny. They had issues with the economy when the ship was first introduced, and then they had issues with the economy when they reintroduced it and tried to keep the original Missouri owner's economy at the same as the OG Missouri's economy. So all fun all around. Then we come to the economic rework. And when the economic rework was released, the combat mission for the Missouri went away, and they put the boost back onto the ship. So now we went from having a combat mission bonus, to the economic boost being baked into the ship yet again. It was pretty funny, and it was also interesting to see players freaking out over the combat mission being gone now. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, but it was just like, oh yeah, look, they did do that, didn't they? But anyway, so the economic bonus is now back into the Missouri, and we have the new economic system, which has led many to believe that their Missouri has been nerfed in some way, shape, or form in terms of credits. So with the bonus being baked into the Missouri once again, for the original Missouri owners, if you have the new Missouri, you just have a normal Tier 9 ship's economy. You don't have the original Missouri's buffed economy. So, how is the Missouri doing in today's World of Warships? So, What I did was I went with my Missouri and I put the third tier of economic boost onto my Missouri, which is the equivalent of having the special combat. I'm sorry, not special combat. The special economic flags like the dragon, the hydra, so forth and so on. Having all of those on my Missouri, which is what Missouri players would do in order to maximize their profits. Now, the very bottom tier of, well, I should say very top tier, the fourth tier of economic boost, you can run that on your Missouri. That's the equivalent of having all the economic, all the special economic flags, and then having like a spring sky camo on top of that as well. So that's super rare to get, and I didn't want to burn those just yet. So I never really ran spring sky on my Missouri. I just kept the normal premium camo that comes with the ship on it, and then I would put all the special economic flags on it as well, and that's what this is the equivalent of. So I was trying to basically have, you know, the same setup I had on Missouri before the economic rework in the new economic system. So with that being said, I took the Missouri into battle, and well, credits were made. Plenty of credits were made. I'll throw up the end screens here from a few of the matches that I had. As you can see, that the Missouri is still quite the credit printer, and only in one of these matches would I say that the amount of damage or the performance I had in game was above average, and even really not that above average. Most of the matches I had, I did 110, 120,000 damage. I had one match that I did 140,000 damage in, and that match I made $1.5 million credits. And as you can see, the credit performance in this ship is still quite good. It's very good indeed. It's so good, in fact, that I had some matches, which I'll throw up here, where the matches were terrible because high tier games at the moment are it's patch, well, it's week after patch week, but I mean, if you played high tier matches, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those matches where the teams just sit in the back for most of the game. In fact, this one game that I did 28,000 damage in, I think it ended in about 9 minutes, if that. But yeah, so some really terrible matches, but as you can see, the Missouri is still making well north of 500,000 credits in these games. And again, these aren't games that I'm doing amazing things in. These are just average games, or in the case of the losses, extremely below average games for a tier 9 battleship, and the ship is still printing absolutely plenty of credits. Now you might be thinking, well, Sealord, in the new system, if you're running those super duper bonuses like you are, shouldn't any tier 9 premium ship be performing at about this level? Well, I'm so glad you asked that, because I thought of that too. So I said, okay, well, let's take another tier 9 premium into battle with the exact same set of economic boosters equipped on her, and yeah, we did that with the Georgia, the other tier 9 premium American battleship. And here's a screenshot of the Georgia's economic bonus screen. As you can see, again, I have all the same economic bonuses attached to the Georgia. It's the same third tier blue bonuses. And I went into battle with the Georgia, and we won. I did 85,000 damage. It was a pretty short game. I think this game lasted about 10 minutes. And look at here. In that game where I won in the Georgia, I did 85,000 damage. I made only 23,000 more credits than I did in the game that I lost in the Missouri. The game in the Missouri was shorter, by the way. I only did 28,000 damage, and I made 640,000 credits. So, in a game where I did like a fourth the damage in the Missouri, I made only 23,000 credits less than a game in the Georgia where I did, again, almost 4 times the amount of damage, or 3 times because it's 85,000, and won. So keep in mind too, the Georgia game got the victory bonus. The Missouri game did not get the victory bonus, and I'm still, like, again, right there in terms of credits. So you can see that the Missouri is still performing way above other tier 9 premium battleships, or tier 9 premiums in general. So guys, the Missouri, she's fine if you have an OG Missouri. She's still absolutely just printing credits left, right, and center. It's not, if there is a difference, it's not like, I don't think it's a difference from them nerfing the ship. The thing is, when they take the combat mission bonus and put it back onto the ship, the game does crunch the numbers differently. That's just in the nature of the game's economy. It's been like that for all time. So if you are seeing a little drop here and there in your Missouri's performance, it's probably not because Wargaming nerfed it. It's more than likely because it's just being calculated a little bit differently. And again, from what we've seen here, it's definitely not a major difference, if there even is one at all. Again, how many tier 9s can you take into a battle, do 28,000 damage, lose the battle, and still make over 500,000 credits? With plenty of profit, too. So, she's fine. If you have an original Missouri, you can put your mind at ease. She's still the old credit printer that we all know and love. Sadly, if you aren't a original Missouri owner, you can't get this version of the ship anymore. But I just want to put this video out there after seeing quite a few comments about the Missouri's performance in this new system. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. If you are an original Missouri owner, how are you doing with your credit performance? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will be live streaming tonight on Twitch and YouTube. We're doing community div time for the last 2 hours of stream tonight, so make sure you come out for that, and we'll have some matches and have some good old fun on stream tonight. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And hope to catch you guys in the next one.